Whew. Wow. Good evening, good people and Eagle fans. Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. Hope you're all having a great day. Man, mm, what a difference a year makes. Jaden Daniels last year, could do no wrong, had everything going right. This year has been just terrible. The sophomore slump is a real thing. Getting back today for his first game back again from injury, having a gruesome, oh, God. I don't know what it is about. There's something about that field. I don't know if it was on an Indian burial ground, which is actually a real thing, mind you. There's like Indian mounds that are around where they just buried people and they became mounds. And a lot of times they just bulldoze that shit over and built stuff on it, and they say it's cursed. I don't know what they built, what used to be FedEx, what Northwest or North, whatever it is now. That place is cursed. You saw Alex Smith, you saw RG3. I think Adrian Peterson tore his knee up in there. You've just seen some catastrophic injuries in that stadium. Surprisingly, it wasn't Joe Theismann. That wasn't where he did with Joe Theismann. But that injury for Jaden Daniels, you got to look at that and say his season's probably over. That had to be, at best case, a dislocated elbow. But you hope that there's nothing broken in there, but it's got to be some ligaments. I know it's not his throwing arm, but damn. During that game, I kept saying, that guy's got to stop running so much. And I've said that all season because he looks small and frail. And you can't continue to go and put your quarterback in harm's way like that. Now, here's the crazy thing. Dan Quinn is getting lit up right now. Dan Quinn, Cliff Kingsbury, Joe Witt, everybody's calling for their heads and everything else and getting pissed off and saying, well, why wasn't he in there? Why was he still in there? You're getting beat up. It's funny. It's not funny, but it's crazy because the Cowboys, they pulled Dak out when we were getting mollywopped against Denver. All right? They pulled Dak out when we were getting mollywopped by Denver. In fact, they've done that twice. And everybody's laughing. Oh, Dak got benched. He sucks. They're planning on playing Milton and everything else. It's like, no. You got to understand, you only have so many hits in your body. And if the game is lost, there ain't nothing to benefit by having your quarterback out there. I bet right now the Commanders are looking at that and saying, what the hell were we thinking? He just came back this week from injury, and you got him out there getting blown out 38-7 in the fourth quarter? Remember when everybody was mad? Oh, we should have kept Dan Quinn. Man, Dan Quinn. Oh, we lost Joe Witt and all that. Right now, that team is lost. And this is how crazy it is in a football season. We've seen some crazy things today. The Jaguars getting a 68-yard record-breaking field goal kick. So, Brandon Aubrey's going to be, hold my beer, okay? Because, I can guarantee you at some point he's going to be kicking a 70-yarder. And for us Cowboys, there's opportunity out there. This year, it's a week-to-week league. It is a week-to-week league. Everybody was praising Green Bay and how great the Green Bay was and everything else, right? And Green Bay loses today and could not get their offense going. Carolina now looks like a legitimate contender. That's how crazy the season is. The Bears look like a legitimate contender. And then, of course, Minnesota came back and won today. So you had Green Bay and the Lions both lose. I'm sorry, Washington is now dead in the water. San Francisco got the win. And so there is still opportunity. This game, right now, is so important for the Cowboys that they need to win it. If they can win this and go into the bye week, you got a chance. You're getting more of your players back. Now, Max Crosby, listening to his press conference, some people will say he's trying to hold himself accountable to the fans and say, I'm sorry about what we are and how this season has gone. To me, it sounded like a farewell. It literally sounded like a farewell. I don't know if the Cowboys are making a trade. It might be the Eagles. I don't know. But I think Max Crosby is going someplace tomorrow. And some people look and say it's not worth it. I look at it like this. Here's what my honest opinion is. I'm okay if you trade for Max Crosby. Because the difference of signing Micah Parsons, and Micah Parsons really didn't show up today. Them losing was not on their defense. Their offense could not score enough points. So I'm not going to say it was Micah Parsons' fault that they lost. It wasn't. You held a team to 16, 17 points? You're supposed to win. If you look at it from Micah Parsons, who's an undersized defensive end, getting 47, versus me getting Kenny Clark, and then me getting Max Crosby and saving $12 million, even if it costs you the two number ones, you're still ahead of the game. And you can look at it and say, Max Crosby still has 2 years left on his deal. You look at this from how football is, you got 2 more years of Dak Prescott on his deal. And this is where you should look at this and say, we need to go all in right now. We need to go in right now. As Dan Quinn eloquently put it, tomorrow's not promised. You got to do everything while you can. Because, Washington could have looked at it and said, hey, or they probably did. We were great last year. We've arrived. We're ready to rock and roll. But you look at the Commanders right now, that team that everybody was talking about how they were one of the best teams in the NFC. Hate to tell you, that's a complete rebuild right now. That is a complete rebuild. All of the moves that they made, the trades that they made, they don't have a lot of draft picks for next year. And they've got the oldest roster in the NFL. So you don't have draft capital to try and get yourself together, and you don't have the players because most of them are old and aren't performing, and now you got a quarterback that's got to rehab. That team has imploded. It just has. Tomorrow's not promised. And in the same breath where we went from being a 12 and 5 team to being ass last year, things turn around quickly in the NFL from one week to the next. You don't know what you don't know. And maybe Max Crosby helps this team just enough to be able to make some of these plays and win some of these games. So I'm saying you don't have too long with your quarterback. You get back and you get George Pickens under the belt for a few more years. You get Max Crosby. And you check around, maybe the Commanders will say, we'll trade Bobby Wagner at this point because the season's over. Maybe you try and get it to Mario Davis. But you do everything you can right now because you look at how the NFC is right now. It is a flavor of the week. You look at it this week and say, the Seattle Seahawks look incredible. But do they look incredible because the Commanders are in disarray? You looked at it last week and said the Green Bay Packers are the best team in there. And now you look at them and say, maybe not. Jordan Love is a liability. Yeah, the Eagles look great today because they didn't play. But you still look at it and say, they've got some issues, and now they're going to be facing a Detroit Lion team and Green Bay Packers team that are feeling a little more desperate. They end up maybe be the next team that ends up falling. And you want to be able to say, we can try and compete and get into that spot. So that's my thoughts on today. It's been crazy. It is absolutely positively crazy. But it's football. Tomorrow, as Dan Quinn said, is not promised. And sending prayers to Jaden Daniels because that was a devastating. Oh, I don't know that I'd want to get back out on the field after that. Then again, I tore my ACL and saw that shit being torn, and I got back out on the field. But shout out to you guys. I appreciate everybody who supports the channel, watches videos, likes the channel, and subscribes. I really and truly appreciate all the support I get from you guys. Now tomorrow, our Cowboys play tomorrow night, and they got to take care of business. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. They have to take care of business and find a way to get a win. You get a win, you go into the bye week, you regroup, and you get ready for the stretch run. So, with that being said, remember, good people, tell the people you love how much you love them. You might not get the chance again. And Jerry, life is short, bro. Opportunities are fading, and you may not get this opportunity anytime soon again. I love you guys. Peace out.